Welcome to day 5 of our Christmas Week of Webisodes featuring Hunkydory. Now today we have snowy days and snowy acetate.
This Hunkydory card kit has like 94 foiled die cuts in it. So much you can do with that. We're going to show you that. And we have some really neat snowy acetate that I can't wait to show you.
Right, so come play with us. Well, here they are. We've got the acetate and we've got the luxury card kit, but let's look at the acetate first.
Well, the Hunkydory acetate here is a package of 16 of these heavyweight acetate pieces it's got this beautiful snowflake design on there. We've got it over this blue suede because it looks really beautiful that way. But they are 8 1/4 by 11 3/4, and you know, one of these will go quite a ways on one card, but there's this huge pack. And
right.
We're going to show you fun ways to use that.
Okay, and to go with them, see how we have this combination of snowy acetate and snowy days. Such brilliant putting them together. This is a luxury card kit, so it's going to have the 94 die cuts that you were talking about. Plus, it's going to have the adorable scoreable printed, the adorable scoreable foiled, and then also printed paper. So look at how thick this is. Now, this is everything that we did not use in the samples.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 20 of those printed papers alone, which have got the same coordinating artwork. So
well, and actually, since you're going to talk about that, let me show you. This is really designed to go on the inside of your card. So on one side, it's going to have a greeting. You know, Merry Christmas, have a magical Christmas.
Right. And the artwork on this, you'll notice, is a little bit faded.
Right.
So that you can layer on top of it your designs.
Now, you can use this on the front of your card. Sure. So you don't have to be, you don't have to do what they suggest. So you get 20 of these. So I'm going to stop doing this. And then you get the adorable scoreable with the foiling. You know what? Before I do that, I want to show you this sheet.
The inspiration.
Yeah, because there are samples on this little card, and then there are more samples on this. But on the other side, there are close-ups of the cards that the folks at Hunkydory have done.
And we've come up with some different ideas, different takes on some of the same artwork.
Of course we did. Okay. Now, you're also going to get die cuts, and we're using a lot of those, so we'll show those to you separately. But this is the adorable scoreable foil that we did not use, and you're going to see borders, you're going to see beautiful trims like this. Sometimes there will be an all-over design like this one. You can see that silver just popping in the light.
I love that in these, they're not just red and green. There's lots of different Christmassy or wintry colors. You could use some for New Year's cards.
And because these are the same size of the acetate, they're 8 1/4 by 11 3/4, you can really get several cards out of one sheet.
Sure.
So we like to see that. And then we get into the printed adorable scoreable, same weight. That kind of shows you how thick it is. But this is not foiled, but it is quite lovely. So, okay. Okay, so we're going to now, let's get into the ones we used.
The ones we used. Here are the die cuts for the first card that we're going to show you. It's this beautiful foiled die cut here, one that pops out of the middle, so it creates a frame.
I just want to show
the next one.
Yeah, I just want you to see the shine of that foil. Yeah.
We have nice borders. We have some other artwork. So, you know, out of this, you could get at least 3 cards if you were just going to use those for your card toppers. And then there are 3 labels over here with different greetings, like to you all at Christmas time, Merry Christmas. There's some nice greetings.
Didn't have your glasses on,
I didn't. I'm getting them.
And then also, there is the adorable squirrel that's foiled. She's putting her glasses on. Okay, now you're going to show us the card.
This one says Merry Christmas. I can see that.
And this is on the blue suede paper that we had behind the acetate.
Which looks just beautiful with that silver. And then there are pink jewel border dazzles, a couple rows of them down at the bottom.
Because we just have to add that.
And then just foam taping a little label on there. That doesn't take very long. That's a pretty quick card.
Right.
On the inside, there's that border, the border die cut, and another one of the labels there. this is actually more of the cardstock, just a little piece of it. So you can make it go a long ways that way.
Now, you talked about different colors, and this is fun seeing. Now, you're seeing a lot of pink in the background. There's just a little hint of it actually in the artwork, and very snowy scene. Now, this is one that you can do like paper towel because they are cut out. And so the card, and Lorian did this, and so she has done the layers on the side. And let me turn this so you can see. There are quite a few layers. Now, we use a thin foam tape, the foam tape that's designed for paper towel, because it is a little flatter, and you're not going to get this, huge.
I mean, if you still want to send this in the mail, you can. So, it's not too thick. I think that's about 3/8 of an inch thick.
Okay.
I think.
Now, she has elected to not use the Adorable Scorable. Instead, she's using the silver snowflakes holographic paper, and then she married that with the pink suede, which I think is just a very fun look.
It is. It's because of the look in the background, the different colors in the sunrise or whatever it is.
Very, very pretty. And you have 2 images on this one sheet. See the circular one that will go flat, and then the one that she has used to make a 3D pyramid.
Right. So some of those can be used in different ways. Here's the one on the inspiration sheet. You see that it was used here just as a card topper.
Right. Okay.
One similar to it. Yeah, that's
right there.
Oh, they just used the background piece in this one.
Right.
So that's the piece here, and they didn't do, I don't think they stacked up on top of it. So
okay, and you
go further.
Going to show us her little bow?
Here's the little bow pieces. She just cut them for about a quarter of an inch wide. These little strips, the dimensions will be on the gallery. And you take this first strip for that little bow that she made from the holographic paper I didn't mention, and you fold it this way. So now you've got a little folded bow like that. She cut another little strip. I'm thinking you can cut this a little longer and then cut it off after you get it in place. And I would just zot these together like that.
And that's a quarter of an inch wide?
Those are quarter of an inch wide strips. And then you just cut these little pieces with the little V's at the end and place them just so. And you have that little holographic bow.
Right. And
it's a cute little accent.
You can do it that way with any paper that is a little more substantial, a little thicker perhaps.
Yeah, you can do it just with regular pattern paper, but it's going to flatten out in a jiffy, so it's nicer with the cardstock.
There is a second die cut sheet that also has the paper towel look, and this is it. And you can see that there are designs that you can use by themselves, the bird, the phone booth, and then there's also this one, and this is how it was done by our team. And what they used in the background, see how this little bird is in the corner? Well, they used this piece of the Adorable Scorable and place the card right there.
That's a nice look. It's an echoing of that look.
Right.
Although I hate to cover up the little bird because I like the little bird.
And then on the inside, this is one of those printed sheets we showed you, and she just used the part that has the message. Save this for something else so you don't lose that bird. Okay.
So that's also on here on the inspiration sheet. You can see there's the bird there. They use that in a different way.
Oh, okay. Nice to see. Now here's another combination, and again, a snowy scene, which is what's going to happen. Winter greetings. This is to a special couple on this festive season. If you want to use that, there's Merry Christmas, there's a border, and wishing you a very Merry Christmas with love, season's greetings. So just lots. And coordinating with it is this Adorable Scorable, and here is the execution, again, going into that blue suede paper and adding some accents of the blue dazzles.
And the cardstock, here's that border piece. I love this long, it's like a bookmark. Bookmark look, I love that.
That's
and
nice.
Yeah, the blue border, the blue jewel border dazzles.
Right. And then on the inside, taking this little tiny one and just making a collage here, giving you room if you want to write something or maybe stamp something. So that works very nicely.
Right. On the inspiration sheet, they used the square die cut and to just add a little tag. And this is some of the cardstock back here that was used.
Okay. Now we do have in this collection so many different kinds of art. So you've seen some scenes, you've seen couple. Now we go to the cutesy, still keeping with our snowfall. So we have a friendship, but these sweet little teddy bears. And then we have this cardstock that you can see matches the borders.
You know, I wouldn't have automatically combined that blue with that green and red. It would have been a little off in my mind, but
I think I would have gone more blue, but look how it executes so nicely. And there was a tag on there. I like overlapping that. And look what they did with the border. They turned them into ribbons.
Just folded them over, little loops.
Very nice.
Lots of little jewel dazzles down here at the bottom.
It kind of looks like tufting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And then on the inside, have a happy Christmas, my friend. Very, very sweet.
So you can put these things together simply. It doesn't take very long. And in the example on the inspiration sheet, they just built that up with foam tape right in the center of the card.
Okay. Now, we do have Santa and his frosty friend going on this. A lot of very heavy foiling around. So this is a one piece, and then the frame is another. Same thing down here, those multiple frames. This is the adorable scoreable cardstock that is placed to coordinate with it. And here is the card that was done. So you can see that you can separate those frames, of course, or you can build them together. Now, in this case, the center image is foam taped up.
Foam taped up above, and then there's red cardstock added to it to create the frame around the large frame. I love that this tag is just on and off the frame a little bit.
Right, a little bit of ribbon, and this one doesn't have an inside, so.
And in the example on the inspiration sheet, they turned the card the other way. They put a smaller focal on the left. It's the same idea, but I love that the cardstock actually has, you can see that, the cardstock has a bow right down in the corner, and they used that part for part of the artwork on the front of the card.
Now, this is a really unique sheet because you see these panels doing this beautiful art shape as well as the words as a border to other pieces. Now, the coordinating adorable scoreable, there'll be a foiled one and a non-foiled. This is the foiled.
I'd like to show you what they did first before we show you what we did. In their example, they have the entire piece, just as you saw it, placed right on the cardstock. So they just left a little bit of distance between each piece, but it's all one large card.
Right. And Gail decided to do a gatefold card. Now this one has a bow on front, so I'm going to open this up. So you can see on each of the two gatefolds, she has placed one of the two arches, but she's put the adorable scoreable acetate, excuse me, not adorable scoreable, the acetate on top.
Acetate on pieces. So here's just a piece, it was just set right on there, cut to suit. And I kind of want to show you how I attach this. What I do is I'll take Zots. Okay.
Now we're showing them an invisible thing next to an invisible thing.
Use your
Isn't that smart of us?
I'll take Zots, and what I'll do, you're going to have to get a little bit closer.
Can I do something to help this?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Excuse me. There is our Zots. It is still a little bit invisible, but that's the kind of the nature of Zots. And I like to cut it in half or cut just a little piece of it.
With your pen knife?
With my pen knife. Pick it up with the pen knife, just that piece that I cut.
Easier said than done.
It is. Sometimes they stick together. And then I'll stick that right underneath one of the snowflakes.
Okay.
So you can make sure you can see that. I've got it right underneath a snowflake, and I'll stick it on there. That way, you don't have to see where you've attached it.
Okay, so that's how you attached it on this card.
Yes.
Okay.
And you only had to put like 4 of those on each piece for it to stay on there.
Okay. And then you have one of the die cuts overlapping. And then on the inside, there is the third piece, that center piece. And the foiled adorable scoreable is just a really pretty, curve around it. Right. And then another of the pieces. So several items. So although the inspiration sheets do not give instructions, you do have a look that can help you, and that's kind of what we want.
Right.
Now, snowing and playing in the snow wouldn't be complete if you didn't have some things to go with that. So we've got several images, 4 of them, one with words, and then 2 other, just the words and a border. So a lot of pieces on here. And we decided to do this on red cardstock. And this is another way to attach your acetate, is to put a hole in the top. We just did it on the front of the card.
Punch a hole and then thread that ribbon through it.
Place the acetate on top, run the ribbon through and knot it, and that's going to hold it down.
If you pick up the acetate, so there's your card without it, and it just, look how much it adds to it.
Right, it does. I just think it's brilliant of them to have done that. Now inside, that perfectly fits, just does a really nice job of that particular piece.
The inspiration sheet shows that same artwork, but just the piece of paper that you can use for an inset, they use that for the card topper entirely.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a nice
pretty.
scene. Yeah.
Now, this sheet now we're not showing you all of the 94, but we're showing you a good portion of them.
Yeah.
This scenery it's kind of a sunset, I guess, or sunrise.
Right.
I don't see sunrises myself,
I
but
think it's sunset. Yeah.
And a lot of these little squares, just a lot of pieces on this sheet. So our designer elected to really play off of that sunrise, sunset with some cardstock, and very cleverly used the square, so the square in the center, the square at opposite corners, and then the rectangles at the other opposite corners.
So these are your border pieces, and if you were to cut the end, you wouldn't see that nice foil cap. So she covered them up with the little squares, the labels, and that's a nice idea.
And again,
in the background, it's a torn cardstock look too.
And again, this has the acetate over the top.
Snowy acetate.
On the inside, one of the pieces that is the printed paper that has the words on it, and taking one of the other little pieces and turning it on point to do a little design there. And we've also added some of the linen paper.
Silver linen paper. So you can either put strips on top of it if you want to save it, or you can mat it on one large piece.
Now we have another selection, and I'm going to show you a scrapbook page. So here we have a very snowy scene, so it's appropriate for this. Lots of circles this time. And then this is the all over foiled adorable scorable. And
that's a nice one. Look at that.
Look at the scrapbook page. I think this is so pretty.
It is. It's a nice use. Though there's that silver linen up at the top behind.
Right. Let me bring it in like this so you can see.
So that's your base.
Right. And then also on top of that, we've taken an overlay, and it has writing at the top, and so we've placed that on top of the silver linen.
And that's the last thing we did. The first thing is that linen is on there, and then the cardstock is placed on the bottom.
So it's like this and going horizontally. So with it almost being 12 inches, it works really nicely.
Right. And then you've got more silver linen behind the photo.
Right, and then we've got these die cuts are overlapping, and then a photo, we've got some ribbons as pennants, and then some journaling. So really, scrapbookers, even though this says for card making, do not be put off by that. You can certainly use any of these pieces very, very nicely for scrapbook pages, even 12 by 12s.
Oh, sure.
So that's nice.
The snowy acetate is so fun to play with. I'm sure you're going to have fun making Christmas cards with that.
And that's it for our week of webisodes, Christmas time with Hunkydory. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
And Merry Christmas.